since I laid my eyes on you, my baby. I just wanna make your dreams come true, my lady. If you low, I'll lift you up. Just let me know.
Welcome to A Goddess Life. You are a goddess, and this is your life. Let's dive in to this week's episode. Welcome, beautiful goddesses and beautiful souls, to another episode of A Goddess Life podcast with your host, Anna, and myself, Erin. Today, we're diving into some really obvious and maybe some unexpected shifts and changes that you may have experienced post-eclipse. When this episode airs, we'll be a week out from the total lunar eclipse of blood moon in Pisces, which I'm sure the energy will have catalyzed a little bit more and things will have become more obvious. But Anna and I decided that we really wanted to talk about this today because I feel like normally we talk about the build up towards something, but after the event or the peak or the highlight, it's like the after portion of it sometimes, I don't want to say gets missed, but isn't always the height of a discussion because you're no longer in the throes of that hike or that peak moment. For me, I feel like there's been massive changes, and we want to talk about the surprising things that we experience post a total lunar eclipse or post 9/9 portal, which is also what have just happened this week as well. The post energy is really what we can utilize to look backwards and connect all the dots of the build up to them, the processing through them, and then coming out the other side afterwards, and what that looks like and what that feels like. So, Anna, I'm curious to know, post eclipse, have you noticed any massive shifts and changes in your life, in you, in your energy, how you stand, how you feel, what your perception of your identity is? Like, let's do this. I'm excited to talk about this because these are the results or the effects of all of the hard work, inner work, effort, shifting, changing, moving, transcending, and transformation. These are the effects and the results. And what do they look like and how do they feel? How are you feeling?
I am feeling, I have a lot of energy pulsating through me, and it's difficult for me to find my new feet on the ground because,
Mm,
yes, I feel things have changed, but I also can't pinpoint all the things that changed. I can see that my sight or the way I perceive things have changed because things I would not be angry about before, I'm now angry. It's sort of, I'm standing up for myself in a different way.
got
And
it.
that is different for me because, oh, should I be angry about this? The internal me that is saying, this is actually not okay.
There's a discomfort
Oh,
in
yeah.
suddenly doing things differently, and the discomfort isn't because it's wrong. It's just because it's not the normal response you would have. It's not the normal pattern that you're following. So the discomfort to me, I feel like can be a place where people will shy or revert back into the way they used to. But one does not do that when they have felt, tasted, touched the empowerment of the self and the deeper nuances or understandings, or reclaimed a bone of power, or reclaimed a sense of the self. When we have that aspect, like doing the dinner work, doing the dinner work, oh, the meat and potatoes of it all. That's so funny. The inner work was what I had intended to say. When we have done that inner work as a preparatory, we have a greater success rate and a greater chance of not reverting back because we feel that discomfort, but rather leaning into the discomfort and allowing it to unfold. And you can't find your footing right away because it's new. And not being able to find your footing doesn't mean that you're not grounded. It doesn't mean you're not on the right path. It doesn't mean you're not doing the right thing. It just means you haven't fully Venus, I have Venus coming up here, Venus and Venusian and Aries energy, which we're just entering into a whole new inner world landscape of a moon cycle shifting. And we've just begun with Aries this week. starting on September the 8th, or maybe it's tomorrow, the 9th, on the 9/9 portal when we're recording this. But that's the beginning of a new journey. It's a beginning of doing it a new way. The fool doesn't know all the answers. The fool knows they're in the unknown. The fool knows they don't really know where they're going to place their foot, but they know they're going to place their foot one step at a time. And that's okay. So I almost feel like it's important to illuminate the fact of, we typically go into those patterns when we hit a wall of discomfort. But when you have done that self-awareness, that inner work, and you're continuing to do it, and you have the awareness of what's actually happening, you're more likely to, I'm seeing, blow through that brick wall, shatter the glass ceiling, because you recognize the discomfort is going to pass, and you're just getting used to a new skin, right? You're just getting used to a new embodiment, a new way of walking, a new way of thinking, a new way of feeling about yourself, new boundaries, new expectations of the self, and also a new tolerance or non-tolerance of certain behaviors, experiences, circumstances that maybe you used to be aligned with. So I just feel like it's important to illuminate for you, for me, for all of our listeners, and anyone going through this process of transformation and shifting roles and identities, quantum leaping through timelines. There is discomfort in there. Yes, there's exhilaration. Yes, there's freedom. Notice, I want to point this out, Anna. You said you have this pulsating, vibrating energy. Kali, Maha Kali. I'm hearing Maha Kali, which is to gift the gift of time and the relevance of it. When you end a time frame or a pattern that existed for a certain amount of time, and you step into a new cycle of time, a new frequency of time, a new timeline, you have freed up more of your energy. That's why you have more pulsing energy. That's why you have more of a creative flow. That's why you feel like you have, maybe you have more energy. Maybe you're just thinking clearer. Maybe you're really more focused on things that really make you happy that you had trouble with focusing on before. Like, these are just dynamics of the shift that can happen. But it's because you have freed up the energy that was controlled subtly or powerfully, overtly or covertly by certain frequencies and certain patternings based on roles and identities. When we shift identities, which is associated with the I am and the embodiment, we are then able to shift roles that we have played. Certain identities marry beautifully with particular roles, right? A mother, a giver, a nurturer. The identity is the giver and the nurturer, and the role is the mother. So at this point in time, post this lunar eclipse, with all the shifts and changes happening, the 9/9 portal, which is, I want to say, the not the last hurrah, but the last release before the 10 completion. It's the last step, the last dissolution, the disintegration phase, if you were looking at the lunar phases. And that's the portal that we're at right now. That's the energy that we're at. There's some major Neptune action this week, major Saturn action this week, major Jupiter. I think it's even the Friday. Maybe it's today when you're watching it. Every single planet is talking. They are having conversations. That's what planetary and lunar aspects are. They're conversations based on different areas of our lives that reveal certain patterns, frequencies, places we've left ourselves in the closet, places we've given our power away, and places we've taken back our power. They're conversations based on the different areas of our lives and how to bring them into balance, how to evolve and grow. So I feel like this is relevant because this week, I think every single planet is having an aspect. There is a lineup of them, particularly on the Friday, the day that this is being aired. And that's significant. Like, think about it. If we're stepping onto a new journey, a new era, a new embodiment, a little bit discomfort, not 100% sure how it's going to go, really getting comfortable in a new skin and feeling uncomfortable as we begin to find that comfort. By the end of this week, I feel like it's going to be a quick turnaround for all those who have experienced this lunar eclipse. By the end of this week, you're going to feel 10 times more comfortable in this new skin than you did maybe just after the lunar eclipse, where you're just kind of finding your ground again, finding what it feels like to be in you in your body, in your mind, and in your heart, and in your energy when you've actually opened up more of your true, authentic self. The discomfort isn't that it's wrong. The discomfort is literally that you're embracing a greater facet of who you are. I'm being reminded of that 10,000 faces of the goddess, endless emanations of the divine goddess, and all of her different faces and all the roles that she can play and all the archetypes that you could categorize them into. Right now, we're at a standpoint where we are releasing one archetype and beginning a journey with another. It doesn't mean you're not going to utilize that old archetype. Like, you're still a mother and you're still going to carry that role, but maybe you're now going to expand beyond just, mother, teacher, guide, whatever it is. And you're going to expand it into, ooh, let's play with the lover archetype over here now. You're just adding on another facet of who you are, because we're not meant to be defined as one thing. We're multidimensional. I'm not just a mother. I'm not just a business owner. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a lover. I'm all these things. And to begin to embrace all of them and not limit yourself to one archetype is kind of the process that you've described, right? I've released this role of the giver and the nurturer. I've released the identity of dimming myself in order to assuade others or make others feel better or not to rock the boat. If you're leaving that behind, you free up a shit ton of energy that you're not spending worrying about that. It takes 10 times more energy to limit yourself, to constrain yourself, and to confine yourself and dim yourself than it does to just freely, authentically let it roll as it is. You're freeing up energy. And I love that concept. I feel that way too. I feel a lot more grounded clarity. I feel really comfortable in my skin. I feel really comfortable moving down multiple new pathways.
I feel more in tune with myself, even though I'm sort of not really tuned in yet. It feels still new. My body is saying clearly no much sooner than it did before. Yeah, so there's something is going on. I just need to get used to it. Yeah.
Absolutely. They're saying the
Yeah.
reason that your body is responding and your intuition is clear is because you have dissolved, disintegrated, and brought awareness to the shadow that was causing confusion over yes or no, or should I or shouldn't I? Should I let down a boundary? Should I not? Venus says the body speaks profound wisdom. For
Mm.
your body to give you a clear no means that you have effectively eclipsed the embodiment of the energy of you that doesn't trust itself as much, that isn't as finely tuned with itself as much. When you are finely tuned with the self and you trust the self and you've done a lot of shadow work, she says that everything becomes more clear, more concise, and the answer is right away. One, the answer becomes stronger. We're really having a strong shift in roles and identities to release old ones and simply allow the unfoldment of the new ones. The world is not going to end if you stand up for yourself after you spent 4 decades not doing The world is not going to end. It might feel like that at first. Actually, the world is going to open up to you is what's going to happen. Your world is expanding. Your body telling you and you listening to it. Like, let's be honest, your body can be super clear about a lot of things, but you may not be listening to it. You may doubt it because you don't trust yourself. You might have other people's residue and energy streaming and transferring into you, whether it's quantum entanglement, codependency, or whatever it is. There's a lot of different dynamics there that can play out. But for your body to have a fast, clear, concise, absolute no, and you to be like, yep, I'm on it. That's a no. Going with it, trusting it, that speaks volumes. Like, look how far you've come. Look how far we've all come, because your entire reality exists only from within you. That's the only way we have awareness, consciousness, the ability to perceive things. It's all from within you. So the clearer within you is, the stronger your body and intuition. I'm going to say body intuitive or body intuition becomes. It's 222 on my clock right now. And I feel like that's something to to have a big check mark. It might seem like it's a little thing, but that's actually a huge thing. That's your inner barometer. That's your inner compass. Very finely tuned, very clear, very concise, in a grounded and embodied way. So I feel like they're showing me it's like having the divine energy, not only integrating, but stabilizing you. And we all go through that process. I know I have that process for me too. Very cool.
Same.
That's a major shifting point, like an obvious one.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm seeing for myself, maybe the last 6 months, I've slowly become more brave. I want to call myself brave, but other people would not like bat an eyelid. But I have started to say actually no, and to not talk back, but to say no, I don't like this because, or no, I don't agree with you because. And that
Mhm.
is such a major thing for me to do, just to say that. And something that I'm recognizing is that it's my body that is creating that fear and that pain that we feel because I was massively codependent for everything. It's mostly my body creating the pain instead of just feel that this is not okay. I should say it. They are balancing themselves out.
Yes, that makes complete sense, right? I want to say no to something, but I'm codependent and I don't have trust in myself. And I don't feel like I have the power to say no, or that's not the identity or role that I've embodied, is one that easily says no and has very clear boundaries. Your body does respond with pain, restriction, confinement, confusion, and shadow, says Kali, because you are not honoring your true self and your true essence, your true needs, your true wants, and your true beliefs. She says it is inevitable that across the world, many people will have multiple beliefs. And yes, some will appear to be in conflict or in opposition of another. But that does not mean you need to relinquish your beliefs because another does not believe it. Rather, there is great wisdom and great power and great strength and great evolution in allowing for you to have your opinion and them to have theirs, and you to have your belief and another to have their belief, and not need to make the other right or wrong. You are here to express your experiences, your perceptions, and evolve through them, not to dim down, dull, water out, hide away, or repress your own expression of your own I am experience in order to accommodate others or to fit into somebody else's desire for reality. And your body will naturally not feel good because you're repressing something that is the truth of you, hence releasing the role, the identity that may be associated with it, and freeing up all this energy. You're no longer expending it on repression, on confinement, on those things. And we also don't have to be right. That's the beauty of it. I don't have to be right or wrong. This is simply what I believe, and it's my truth within my essence at this point in time. And I need to be there and honor it. And you can be in yours and honor yours. It doesn't matter to me. It's that recognition. They're saying it's a defining power to know that you are supposed to say no to things. You are supposed to say yes to things. And maybe there are times where no response is the exact response you need to give, which is neither a yes nor a no, but subtly really is either a yes or a no, typically a no. It's interesting. They're saying these are defining factors, creating defining powers. They define and energize your pathway forwards because we want identities that define us in a way that energizes us versus in the past, maybe those definitions limited us. A definition can limit you or expand you. And you can't keep one that limits you and one expands you and expect not to have a conflict of back and forth. I'm seeing like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other, right? Or the mind having all this fear and doubt because it subconsciously thinks it's less than, but your heart being like, I know I'm more than, that will naturally cause conflict within the body, within the mind, within the energy. And we're just hopping through that. We're total eclipse of the heart, total eclipse of the mind, total eclipse of the identity and the roles that we played that were synonymous with those identities. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's so exciting. This is what I've been working on, but also so scary. What can I do now when I don't have these limiting beliefs? When I can actually say no?
Do you feel
But
like suddenly all these other pathways open up and your world expands and it's like, holy moly, I don't have one option. I got 50 options here. And I have one pathway. I got 10 pathways to receive, to experience. And they're highlighting right now experience. If you can choose the experience you want to have, an experience is like an embodiment, right? When you experience something, you experience it physically, consciously, unconsciously, you experience it subtly, you experience it multidimensionally, mentally, emotionally. It's the first dimension. We have to have an experience in order to have a feeling about it. We have to yearn for an experience which tells us we're trying to fulfill a particular feeling. So if we can choose an experience, we have to be willing to receive that experience, to embody it, to actually have it occur and be in it, which opens up naturally multitudes of pathways to be able to have that experience. To do that requires us to be in our limitless mindset, our expanded possibilities, positivity, openness. I'm hearing open mind, open heart, unknown, being willing to live fully and authentically to experience life. It's hard to do that when you're in those old identities and those old roles where you're repressing so much of yourself. That was the whole point of the inner work. Like post lunar eclipse, and lunar is the unconscious realms, it's working with the subconscious material. If we were to attune to the personal growth aspect of it, it's exhilarating and it's terrifying. I've kind of gotten over the terrifying part and I'm just like, no, it's exhilarating. I can create anything I want to. I can be anything that I want to. Yes, it's going to be a process. Yes, I might have a few stumbles here and there, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. And that doesn't mean I'm wrong. And I don't need to be afraid of those things. And yes, I can say no. And yes, I can say yes. I too have found the exact same energy post this lunar eclipse. I felt like there was this buildup of all these scenarios where I wasn't able to unleash that aspect of me, or I was worried about hurting other people's feelings. That's a big one, right? I was worried about hurting other people's feelings or always considering somebody else's perception, response, reaction, their past, why they are the way that they are, always considering that. And it's not that I'm not still considering that. I always will because we're here as co-creators. I deeply value other people. They're sacred. I would never just flippantly say something, not caring or considering a negative impact it might have on somebody. But I'm also not going to allow somebody else's negative reaction to my truth to stop me from doing it. Do you see? It's like a subtle difference, it's a subtle shift, it's a subtle tweak. And while it might seem like it's subtle, it's deeply impactful and powerful. It frees my energy. It creates stronger boundaries. It allows me to ground deeper into more of who I am while still maintaining, I'm seeing the pink lotus, while still maintaining the compassion and the understanding that who I am allowed to authentically be all of who I am, whether people agree or don't agree. And I can also extend compassion, not needing to project, direct, manipulate, or move or shape it in a way that might be digestible to another. So it's like merging both things. I am who I am, and this is what I believe. And I offer compassion and unconditional love and the ability to witness another person's beliefs that may be in direct, appearing to be conflict with mine. but really they're not in conflict with mine. It's just another expression of divinity because they've had a different life, different experiences. Shifting identities and roles is exhilarating and terrifying. It's mostly terrifying when you don't expect it. It is unplanned and it feels forced. So, like Ava dying, my daughter, that felt like a forced destruction of an identity and a role, whether I wanted it to or not, and it happened like that. That was terrifying and took me way down deep into the darkness. They're saying versus a deliberate, conscious, intentional focus on shifting and releasing and embodying different identities and roles. To deliberately do that takes on the exhilaration more powerfully. It's not as terrifying or as dark or feeling like it's a disempowered kind of an energy or experience. It then becomes this joyous, it's like a child. It's like the freeness of a child who's like, oh my gosh, I want to ride on unicorns. Let's go look up stuff for unicorns. I'm going to create unicorn this and unicorn that. They're giving unicorn. There's a childlike wonder and awe because you're no longer carrying the burdens of trying to make your dreams fit somebody else's. You're all in. There's no longer the stigma or the role or identity of I have to be this instead of just being who I am. It's that freeness and flowing of energy. And childlike energy, that is part of creative energy. How are we going to create if we're like, it has to look like this, it has to be in this little box, it has to make this person feel like that, it can't go over to this way, I can't look like this in it? No. Creating from that inner child, that childlike state, that wonder, that awe, that freedom, that pure knowing and divinity and intuition and joy and lightness, that's kind of like the resurrection of the fool. It's the resurrection of the journey. That's the freedom of creative energy that explodes because we're not confined by shoulda, coulda, woulda, don't, you are this, you aren't that. It's total, pure creative energy without limits. And I'm not sure what the point of us talking or going that route was. I've kind of lost track of that. But they're saying that is, oh, interesting. Okay. They're saying, but that is the energy, right? You become so engrossed in this energy of creating and wonder and awe that everything else kind of falls away for a moment. There is nothing else. There is no planning. There is no stick to the structure of the conversation. It is all in 2 feet deep in the puddle of wonder, watching the rainbow with a smile on your face, oblivious that you're standing in a puddle. It's a beautiful energy. And Kali goddess, who's the goddess of time, like I know she's the dark goddess and all these things, but I really attune to her as the goddess of time, a time of the shadows moving into the light, a time of shifting timelines. She shifts you from one state of being to another by diving you or pushing you or inviting you deep into the shadow and the darkness of those dark goddesses and those dark realms in order to illuminate it, to bring you to a time of more light, to bring you to a timeline where you're no longer burdened by the shadows, confused by them, weighed down by them, or limited by them. She really is the goddess of time. She shifts you from one timeline to another. And yeah, oftentimes if Kali has been in your sphere, you feel called to her, you feel like you resonate with her, even if you can't pinpoint it. That's why you're shifting timelines. You're about to exit one time frequency, identity, and role, and about to enter another one. And that's what this post lunar eclipse is. We've entered the other one. Do you feel it? Do you feel it in your bones? Do you feel like you can't quite pinpoint it? That's frequent too. I just feel more sure of myself. I just feel more confident. Maybe I just feel more comfortable in my clothes. Maybe I just don't give two shits about this thing over here that I was really ruminating on or cared about a month ago. Those appear to be subtle things, but those are massive things because they're a deep, grounded, rooted change in the foundation of who you are. And that's big, which sets you up for a different identity, already is a different identity, and allows you to fulfill a different face, a different role, and choose new experiences for your life. I'm so excited for the rest of this year. I'm excited right now in it. I was excited thinking about the 9-9 portal. I'm excited thinking about projects that I want to pick up where I kind of left off halfway or bring things to a culmination point. Really excited about that. I'm really excited about expanding on new projects right now and also starting brand new projects or ideas or creative concepts. And now is the time to do it, because usually when we have this idea of something we want to do, we don't really recognize that the moment we choose we want to create that, experience that, or bring it into form, we then went on this journey to be able to allow us to have that experience, to fully create that. Who's the person who's already created it? Who's the person who's in that experience over there? We've just been on a journey to that. And the eclipse was the final eclipsing of all that work and all that stuff. Some eclipses amplify and hit more deeply than others. Some full moons hit us more deeply than others. And that's going to depend on your life, your journey, your astrological charts. It's going to depend on all kinds of different things, and it's different for everybody. But this one felt deeply, deeply, I don't want to say impactful. I'd rather say revealing, unfolding, that kind of an energy.
Yeah, the things that I'm now seeing and recognizing are, I believe, the things that are being revealed to me.
There it is. I'm hearing so loud and clear. When you are perceiving things being revealed to you, we wish to deepen the knowledge and the understanding of you. Is it being revealed to you, or are you being revealed to yourself? And this truer version of yourself is able to see with greater revelation and clarity everything that connects to you. What is being revealed to you is actually you revealing a piece of you that sees on a greater expanse. They're saying, so too is this true for seeing other people clearly. We perceive that, oh my gosh, I'm seeing this other person so clearly right now. But what you're actually seeing is yourself clearly in relation to them, from how you used to relate to them versus how you now relate to them, because you've revealed a greater, deeper, more profound, more whole essence of you. Anything revealed to you is because you are revealing you to you, who is then able to perceive it. The version of you who didn't know their worth will tolerate that and accept that frequency and timeline, whether it is covert or overt, subtle or obvious. Whereas when you get to know yourself deeper and better and in a more truer way, and you suddenly begin to know your worth layer by layer, step by step, recognizing you are divinity and you matter and you respect yourself, you begin to see all those subtle things where that's been occurring. So true. The subtle giving away the power is revealed to you because you've revealed a deeper nuance of who you are and your power.
Mm.
It's really fascinating, right? To think of self-growth, like just as a candid kind of a exploration here. Whenever I have experiences with other people, like other people outside of me, friends, family, coworkers, clients, places, circumstances, how people feel, their lives, all these things, and me interacting with them are all kind of opportunities for me to discover more about myself, either through them illuminating what I am not, what I have been previously, or what I can be, or the possibilities, right? Like every dynamic is different. So just exploring that concept of, the dynamics of a relationship between two people, where the example is, I tolerate less than because I don't know my worth, and you make subtle jokes or you act or behave with me in this way to bring yourself up temporarily and bring me down so you can feel better about yourself. What is that showing me about me? Because you can't feel better about yourself by stepping on me. If I can see the subtle nuances of what's going on and recognize that's just a temporary fix, and you'll always need me to do that. And we'll always be in this dynamic until I say, sorry, you can't step on me because I know my worth. You now need to dive into your own shadow or connect with somebody else, or you just do you, but it can't come along with me. So it's almost as if all these relationships and dynamics with people and how they perceive us and how we perceive ourselves in relation to them is the experiences we need to find ourselves, to explore ourselves, to deepen our understandings of ourselves and start relinquishing the attachments and the woundings as if they are separate from us, or as if everything is meant to hurt us. Like everything we go through is a challenge. And it's hard to say this in the moment of the throes of the challenge or the darkness. But post moving through the process of it, it allows you to be able to look back and see the process and recognize that every challenge is intended, every disempowerment, every darkness, every low, every struggle is not intended to define us and keep us there. It's intended to catapult us into the transcendence of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be experiencing it to begin with. Because if you're experiencing it, this is like your green check mark to go, like, hey, it's because you were going to overcome it. That's a completely different paradigm than being in it and feeling like you can't exert your will, you can't exert your power. All these things are dynamics to help us see ourselves, to evolve ourselves, to claim ourselves more deeply and more clearly and more honestly and more authentically. How do you see it?
It sounds so beautiful and almost easy when we talk about it, but it is really hard work to get there. I do believe those that are listening to this, you are all either arrived at the same place, or you are just just nearing, or you've come way further as well. But it is exciting work, but also it breaks my heart a little because I have so much empathy and love for who I was before. I believed myself to do the things that I did them out of love for other people and for myself. Looking back, it was mostly just to protect myself, but I didn't understand. I didn't see it like that. Yeah, and also now trying to find new footing again. The way I used to operate before, it's not good enough. It is not serving me in the way that I want to live and the way I want to.
It was good enough for the old timeline and the old way if you wish to continue living that way. But recognizing that you wish a different experience, a different feeling, embodying more of you does require different tools, different practices, different habits, perhaps, different ways of being, different ways of thinking, and different ways of perceiving. In that way, all that came before served its purpose and was exactly right. Because it led to because it led to this point. That's what I like about spiritual guidance. Like sometimes, yes, it seems like it's so beautiful and easy. And I do feel like oftentimes it's easier than we think because it's our thoughts surrounding it that create that conflicting energy. But I also feel like it brings me relief and it gives me the strength, encouragement, and just like that extra juice to feel inspired to keep going, right? Break through that glass ceiling, remove that brick from there, because why wouldn't you? I just feel it's very, for me at least, I find that when the energy comes through is very beautiful and easy and effortless. The mindset is we're showing you how to do it that way versus it's really hard in the moment. It's like both are true, but both come from different frequencies. Does that make sense? I don't know how else to explain that. and I'm not really sure what the point of it is. And they're saying there isn't meant to be a point. You're in the liminal space. You're in this space where you are unfolding, unbecoming, and becoming all at the same time, where what you were no longer exists and what you are has not been fully embodied or seen yet. In this space, there is no need to attach to one way being the right way and another way not, one view versus another view. Even duality in this space doesn't even exist. There are just possibilities. They are not dualities. Interesting. They're all meant to bring you closer to a choice point or closer to selecting the experience or embodiment you want. And you will have a greater clarity in your selection if you allow yourself to be free, untethered, unraveled, and to not know the way. After all, there is a reason why they say your miracles are in the unknown. But it feels good. Even in the unknown, it feels good and exhilarating and more whole, and it feels more safe, interestingly enough. And it feels more safe, I'm hearing from the grandmothers. It feels more safe because you have cultivated a greater safety within you, recognizing that you are the house of self, the house of divinity, the house of God, divine source creator. And in cleaning out your house to invite in and embrace more of you is the greatest safety you will ever feel, sense, experience, and know. It is not outside of you, it is within.
I'm so I'm so grateful and happy to have this connection to source and spirit, to because I know it's easy to say, but I'm really feeling that I'm held, that I'm supported, and I truly feel it in my heart, and that is such a good feeling and so comforting in changing times.
And it allows you to, in that safety and support, it gives you that extra courage you need to jump into all the potentials and possibilities, right? To go after your dreams, like instead of just dreaming it in the chair,
Mm,
which is what most of us would have done, right? Now is the time frame with all the shifts and planetary conversations and this energy and post lunar eclipse. Now is the time where we do finally feel a sense of support, held, and safety, which is conducive to giving us that springboard, that containment that we need to be able to expand and do courageous things and be brave and to create with the wonder of a child again, because we know we're held and supported. Everybody needs to feel held and supported at some point in their journey, whether it's through a friend group, whether it's, working one-on-one with another, whether it's family, whether it's just somebody that you connect with. To have knowing you are held and supported by another gives us strength, gives us courage. It expands us. It's very powerful. I'm really grateful. I love eclipses. I love portals. I love new moons. I love full moons. I particularly love new beginnings that are from an expanded state, a new identity or a shifted identity that's more whole, and experiencing new roles and fulfilling new roles is always exciting when we know it's one that we are choosing that makes our soul sing. We all just moved through a lunar eclipse. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like conversations around it, I really like having conversations and, you know, discovering your experience with it and discovering and exploring parts of mine, and our listeners and our viewers hearing how they have been moving through it. Because in those open conversations, we get to have an expanded understanding of your experience, my experience, the listener's experience. And we really get to grow from witnessing and hearing about others' experiences, whether it's validating our own because it's similar, or whether it opens the door to, oh, that's a completely different experience. I wonder how that is experienced, allowing us to see the potential for us to experience things in a different way as well. It's all conducive of growth. And that's why I love our conversations. Love, 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 love. Conversations that bring conversions, bringing us from the old to the new, to the expanded, and recognizing all of it is part of the divine.
The eclipse is so big. Thank you so much for a beautiful episode. It is so wonderful sitting here and talking to you, as always. And we will see you on the next one.
Since I lay my eyes on you, my baby, I just wanna make your dreams come true, my lady. If you low, I'll lift you up. Just let me know when it gets tough. Do you feel the way I do?